Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, those tuning in through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music, we're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, you guys have known that October is celebrated for a lot of different things. We've been talking about on our program, it is National Book Month. Of course, myself being an author, we've been promoting books all this month. But it also is National Arts and Humanities Month as well, which ties in very well with our next guest. We're excited to welcome to our program someone who's not only an Army soldier, but also a barrier breaker when it comes to being in the force, as well as on the bookshelves. We have joining us today Command Sergeant Major Johanny Ortega. We're going to talk to her not only about how she's been able to balance her Army and literary careers, but also what it's been like for her to inspire others as well, of course, how you guys can be able to stay connected with her too. Johanny, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, Johanny, as I mentioned, we've been talking about it being National Book Month all this month. I also mentioned it's recognized as National Arts and Humanities Month, which fits you very well. So, again, as I mentioned, you not only are a Command Sergeant Major, but also a published author. How did you get into both of your careers?
So I started with the Army first. I joined when I was 16. I found myself a little lost, per se, right, in life. I needed structured, I needed some grounding, I needed some skills, so that way I can really get good at lifing. And I found that when I met my recruiter, and that was kind of like my golden ticket to get out of that environment and join the Army and learn the skills that I needed to learn. So I started by joining the Army and gaining the things that I needed to do, so that way I can embark on a passion that I've had since I was a child, really, when it comes to reading and reviewing books and writing them as well.
So for our audiences that may be just discovering you then, how do you balance the two? Because, look, we've talked about on this program, Johanny, being an author could be a full-time job in itself, but you also, of course, are a soldier. Yeah. So how do you balance the two things?
Tell me about it. But, so I learned some skills in the Army. I'm a logistics specialist, and it really teaches you when you learn that job how to keep track of various things, various missions, equipment, and things of that nature, right? So I really just turned that and put that into writing. So it's the same way that I manage a project, I manage my writing, which is a project in and of itself. And really it's just through those methods, those organizational methods, that I'm able to be like, this is going to be the first draft. This is the timeline of when I'm drafting that. This is when I'm going to go into self-edit. And I dig deeper into those timelines and keep track through those organizational skills. So that's really how I balance it.
Love that. So talk to us about your writing then. I mean, what has inspired your work that you've been able to publish?
So a lot of it is a melding of my two worlds of being from the Dominican Republic, right, that environment that is part of the Caribbean island, my language, my culture, as well as the parts of the world that I have experienced and seen because of the Army. It really has widened my views so much and my perspective that's how I infuse my books, with all those experiences and emotions that I have gone through. And really in common is just that humanity that I have experienced, that it's in all of my books.
And the audience, Johanny, for you, I mean, who is the audience for your books that you've released?
I've released middle grade books, and I've released short stories. So for middle grade, it's that younger audience and their parents, as well as educators and librarians. That is who I've been targeting when it comes to Mrs. Franchi's Evil Ring, which is the middle grade book that I published. And for the others, it has been short stories and anthologies geared towards the adult audience.
Love that. We're going to let our audience know how they can stay connected and find out more, Johanny, here in a bit. I want to ask you, though, about connections. I know you've made a lot of them since you've been in the Army. Are there other soldiers you've met that have similar passions as yours?
Yes, and I'm glad that I'm talking to you about books, because I've met another author in the Army as well when I was in a training conference. In that training conference, I shared that I had published a book, the book that I just talked about. And after that was over, he approached me and he said that he had drafted a book and wanted to know kind of like the process, the steps, right? So I had him get in my calendar and put in the schedule there so that way we can meet and we can talk about it and I can coach him along the process and teach him. So there are people like him. There are people that like to sing as well, paint, do photography in the Army, and they also have specialties in the Army that are creative as well, photojournalists, media journalists, and instrument playing and singing in the Army band. So a lot of people may not know that.
Yeah, a lot of talent there as well that we may not be thinking about, Johanny. That's why I'm so glad we have you to talk to. Again, everyone, commend Sergeant Major Johanny Ortega has been talking with us as we're celebrating National Book Month, also National Arts and Humanities Month, talking with us about how she's been able to balance her life as a soldier but also as an author as well. So, Johanny, for our audience that want to check out your books, how can they find them?
They can head over to my website, which is haveacupofjohanny.com. That's all one word. And if they want to know about the Army, I love to say the Army slogan, be all that you can be. So if they want to embark on that journey, just like I did, they can go to goarmy.com.
Love it. Johanny, congratulations to you again. Really appreciate the time and looking forward to speaking with you again as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
More than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.